Hi, and welcome to Teaching Tip Tuesday, brought to you by the Center for Inclusive Teaching and Learning at UWSP. For the past couple of weeks, I've covered the benefits of group work and how to make groups more successful. At this point, you're probably wondering what interesting options there are for group work in your courses. Well, you're in luck, because this work, I'll cover some ideas for different types of group work that you may use in your courses. I'll give you a brief summary of some of the challenges that you might face while using them, and I'll also try to give you some ideas for student roles within the groups. Let's get started with case study analysis. In case study analysis, your job as instructor is to provide students with a complex, real-world scenario relevant to your field. You can get AI to help you write it. Each group analyzes the case, identifies the problem or problems, and poses evidence-based solutions. Instructors can offer guiding questions or a decision matrix to help structure the work. Case studies can occur over 1 to 2 class sessions or can be short out-of-class projects. The main challenges you'll face are the risk of dominant voices taking over the discussion. Within groups, students can serve in various roles, such as the analyst who breaks down the case facts, the facilitator who guides the discussion and keeps the group on task, the researcher who finds supporting data or precedents, the presenter who summarizes the group's findings for the class, and the devil's advocate who challenges assumptions and tests solutions. Jigsaw discussions. In jigsaw discussions, the instructor divides a topic into subtopics. Each student is assigned one subtopic to study or research independently. Maybe you provide different readings for different subtopics. Students then meet with those in other groups who share their subtopic to discuss, share, and really become experts in that subtopic. Afterwards, students return to their original groups, and the group works with combined expertise to solve a novel problem or to teach their topics to other members of the group. A good jigsaw discussion might last a couple of weeks. The challenges to expect are uneven preparation and over-reliance on one expert. If you end the jigsaw with students teaching to peers, you might need to prepare them with some teaching pointers. Within groups, you might assign roles like the subtopic experts, but there are also people who make the discussion flow, like the connector, who links subtopics to the larger theme or question, the illustrator, who might create visuals, analogies, or examples, and the discussion leader, who facilitates the work of the reassembled group to make sure that learning occurs. Here's a good one: peer instruction with conceptual questions. In this kind of activity, the instructor poses a conceptual question to the class as a whole, and individual students commit to an answer. Then they discuss with their peers and vote or revise the answers till they have one that is their consensus. As facilitator, the instructor wraps by leading a whole class debrief. These activities are good because they can fit into a single class meeting and usually take somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes. The challenges, as always, are uneven participation and students deferring to confident peers. Within groups, students might serve as the explainer, who verbalizes the reasoning behind an answer, the questioner, who asks for clarification or challenges ideas, the summarizer, who restates group consensus or unresolved disagreements, and the recorder, who inputs or tracks the group response. Role-based simulations or debates are a great way to explore different points of view without students having to expose their actual positions. It's a great tool for approaching touchy social and political issues. Students take on assigned roles in a realistic scenario and respond in the discussion according to the role or perspective assigned to them. The fact that everybody is acting helps to keep the focus on the arguments rather than the people. Some of the challenges you might encounter include high emotional intensity, because that's typical for these kinds of touchy issues, and discomfort with assigned roles. Within the simulation, students might act as role players who argue or negotiate from their assigned perspective. A student might act as a moderator who ensures flow of the discussion and monitors adherence to whatever debate rules exist. A fact checker who confirms the accuracy of data used by role players, a recorder who takes the minutes or records the outcomes of the discussion, and an observer who provides feedback on group processes. Design challenges or hackathons can be really fun. The instructor presents students with an open-ended problem. Groups design a solution, a prototype, or a proposal under some time pressure. It's a great way to get creative collaboration going, to market products, design campaigns, or even produce collaborative art. These projects tend to be pretty involved, so groups may work together for 2 to several weeks. The challenges you might encounter include lack of balance in contributions and underdeveloped ideas. Providing checkpoints helps groups to stay on track and can be useful to combat the latter problem. Within groups, students may act as the team lead who coordinates deadlines and decision making, the designer who sketches or wireframes different solutions, the technician or coder who builds the prototype elements according to the group instructions, the pitcher who prepares and delivers the final presentation or pitch, and the evaluator who tests the feasibility or quality of ideas. Team-based learning is one that I especially like because it mixes a lot of important skills. Students prepare before class, reading a paper, a chapter, watching a video, whatever they do to gain some content knowledge. In class, they take individual quizzes, then work as a group to determine the correct answer for quiz questions, and generate group answers with appropriate explanation of the underlying reasoning of their group. So individual misunderstandings can be corrected in this phase. Then there's some follow-up assignment in which there are group application tasks that use the same concepts. This kind of team-based learning can take 2 or more weeks or could be all term long. Some of the challenges include managing those long-term group dynamics and ensuring accountability for prep work. Within a group, students might act as the manager who oversees preparation and deadlines, the scribe who enters team answers and decisions, the strategist who leads application or problem-solving phases of the entire activity, and the devil's advocate who challenges team consensus to deepen their reasoning. Research posters or infographic presentations are great group work. You can have the groups work together to create a visual product that summarizes research or data. As always, there may be some imbalance in effort, and there might be problems in the balance between the design and the content of the final product. Students within the group could serve as the lead who synthesizes research into key points, the designer who creates the first draft of the visuals and layout, the editor who polishes language and formatting, the presenter who speaks for the group, and the logistics coordinator who manages deadlines and printing or uploading, what have you. Finally, there are peer review or editing workshops that are dedicated times for students to share drafts or products and provide feedback using structured rubrics or prompts. Focus is on revision and constructive critique, like peer reviews on Canvas, but face-to-face. Some of the challenges you might face include vaguely or overly kind criticism, social discomfort with judging another student's work, things like that. Student roles include acting as the reviewer, who gives the structured feedback on peer work, the responder, the person who receives the review and asks for clarification of anything that they don't understand. There might be a facilitator who ensures that feedback is respectful or productive, and a rubric expert who checks the alignment with the grading or quality criteria for the assignment. Consider rotating roles across assignments and checkpoints. This ensures that students develop multiple skill sets, and it prevents role stereotyping so that we don't see women always taking notes and things like that. It also models the real-world dynamics of teams in the workplace. Adding any of these types of group assignments to your course may help your students to develop belonging and those real-world soft skills that we value. And that's this week's teaching tip, brought to you by the Center for Inclusive Teaching and Learning here at UWSP. Remember, at CITL, we offer support for course design, learning activities, assessment, and pedagogy. Visit our website to schedule a consultation today.